My name is Russell, and I've been doing health and fitness since 1984, professionally. And there's two things I want to talk about today real quick that might shake you up and your perceptions of health and fitness and what it entails. The first thing is about training. Because in our culture today, we always talk about the three essential components of training: strength, flexibility, stretching, and cardiovascular work. So I ran into a guy a number of years ago, 10 years ago, who said to me, he said, look, that paradigm is really not right. It's not correct the way it's practiced in America today. We're doing it wrong, and that's why we have so many injuries in sports, why we see so many people limping from just, minor things that they do to themselves, stepping off a curb. So I decided that we were going to do an experiment to see if what this guy was saying was true. So the experiment was my youngest son, whose name is Buddy. His name is Russell, but we call him Buddy. And he was a sophomore at Mars Knolls High School, and he was a wrestler and a baseball player. So Buddy was never a fast runner, all right? And he wasn't particularly strong, but he was very long and lean. He was 6'3" in high school. So the experiment was, in May, the end of his sophomore year, he would run a mile, all right, and see how fast he could run. He ran all out, President's Fitness Test, he ran all out. He ran a 6-minute, 48-second mile, personal best. That was it, okay? Now, the deal was that for the whole summer, 3 months, he couldn't do anything but the 4 exercises he was given. Those exercises would take 25 minutes, 4 days a week. That was it, okay, for his physical training to take his, from being average to being way above average. So now you got to understand, there's no cardio, there's no running at all right? And there's no flexibility work at all, okay? And there's no weights involved at all. And he did these exercises religiously 4 days a week. September comes, he entered a new school. The wrestling coach got all the wrestlers out on the track, and what they did was they did their mile. My son ran a 6-minute mile, 6 minutes flat. It was just incredible. He called me, he said, Dad, I think I could have went faster, but I never went that fast in my life before. Now again, I just want to reinforce, he didn't even run to the mailbox all summer. He was having panic attacks because wrestlers always have to do their hill work, their cardio work, and everything else. So then they lined up for sprints, because he said he recovered so quickly. He was always the last one in sprints, and what happens? They line up, one guy beat him in the sprints. He won every sprint. Guys were on the side throwing up. It's September after the summer. Guys are out of shape and everything else like that. He recovered almost instantly. And that was when we figured out why this type of training was so beneficial and so different. And I'd like to really get into the details of that at some point. But understand that maybe the paradigm that you're using, what you believe is the way to get in shape, the way you got in shape when you were a kid, is not working. There's a reason for it, and I'd be more than willing to teach you about that to help you understand that. Okay, that's number one. Number two